Knowledge against them. Hello, folks. I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of offshoreinsiders.com. Well, you know that we keep telling you time and time again, anytime the odds makers tell us something, use that knowledge against them. And baseball is no exception. I've got some very specific examples for you. The worst team, at least when it's based on winning percentage, if that team is favored, betting on that team is a very good bet. And of course, it makes even more sense because people see the records. They're like, wait a minute, this team is a better team. Why would I want to bet on the, don't I want to bet on the better team as an underdog? So of course, you're going to get very good values here, but the odds makers are making their statement about regression to the mean. And by the way, this angle is even more impressive on the run line. So yes, laying the 1.5 is definitely an even better play, although the money line is very good. Remember, when it comes to money line and ATS handicapping, straight up record is the most deceptive stat from a handicapping standpoint. And again, when we compare the odds makers' knowledge against the straight up records, we use that odds makers' knowledge against them. Another example, colder and inferior pitchers are better value. Gamblers for years and years and years like betting on the pitching, so of course they like the better pitcher and they like the hot pitcher. Again, I don't know how many times I had been told that, depending on what era it is, but when I used to hear this all the time, yeah, if I'm going to lose, I'm not going to lose betting against Randy Johnson in his prime or Greg Maddux in his prime. I'm going to lose, betting with him, and this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Again, I say it so often, but do not bet on the team or the pitcher that is much easier to root for, so to speak. There really is a lot of truth about no pain, no gain. Now, I will say parenthetically, big favorites in recent years have been pretty good plays, especially on the run line. So that's what I said. It's kind of my DNA where I prefer to bet underdogs than favorites, but I always have to go where the facts guide me, and that's one of the great things about using computer systems. Computer systems are totally objective and eliminates biases, and I've been telling you this for years. Now, when the odds makers tell you a team has their best chance to win in recent play, listen to what they tell you. For example, let's just say a team is a favorite. They're laying 112 after having been underdogs of 140, 162, and 187 in their previous three. When the odds makers are telling you this is a team's best chance to win in a while, even if they're still underdogs, they are great value. And ditto, if a total is lower than usual, it's generally a good underplay. And baseball, like most sports, unders are really more prevalent than overs. It is true, though, with overs, if you have a exceptionally high total relative to recent totals or relative to the medium or average total for the year, it's usually a good overplay. Now, early in my industry days, I was told by some of the veterans, some people that were making good money betting, that you should really bet team streaks, bet the opposite streaks of 3 or more. That was kind of the magic number I heard. In other words, if one team's on at least a 3-game winning streak and the other team is on at least a 3-game losing streak, you would bet on the hotter team. And that was actually a pretty good rule of thumb back in the 80s because baseball was so streaky, and because the odds makers overdid it, they really weighted the lines based too much on pitching, and those of us that handicapped the offense and the team stats generally did extremely well when it came to value. But now the opposite has become true, especially if the colder team is the favorite. It gets back to, listen to what the odds makers are telling you. They're favorites despite being a colder team. There's got to be a reason. And it gets back to my favorite phrase in all of gambling, because it wins in every single sport. It's about regression to the mean, and the odds makers tell us usually when a team is going to regress to the mean. So, I keep using the term golden rule a lot. If I had to come up with like a top 5, one of my golden rules would be if the line doesn't make sense based on one loss record and or recent streaks, then it will make dollars. It's all about being counterintuitive. The sharp players the square players zig, and the sharp players zag. Get all the best sports picks at offshoreinsiders.com, especially Joe Duffy sports picks. And of course, there is the Master Lock Line, which has been winning for you on the score phone since 1980, the old 976 lock line. And if you like this content, why wouldn't you? Please give a heart or whatever on Twitter, share, comment, embed. It's your way to tell the search engines that you want to see more great content like this. So we appreciate your support. Make sure you visit us at offshoreinsiders.com or on Twitter. Because of character limitations, there is no S. It's at Offshore Insider. But again, the website itself, offshoreinsiders.com.